Hello, twin flames, star seeds, divine masculine, divine feminine, however you identify. If you are on your twin flame journey or you would like to be, you are in the right place. I am Alden, the twin flame psychic, and I have a reading for you today that is for the month of March, and it is with the Sacred Geometry of Relationships Oracle by Lon, L-O-N. I think that's how you say that. And it's a pick a card style, so you may have already picked a card. If not, take your time. If you want to pause this video, go ahead. Take as long as you need. We have Sage for number 1. We have a beautiful tea light candle for number 2, and Palo Santo for number 3. So if you have a go-to favorite that you like to use for cleansing energy, making yourself feel good, all that good stuff, all that jazz, that might be your pick, or it might be something a little new for you, or whatever you're called to. So if you have more than one choice, of course, you can watch more than one of the card reveals. I haven't looked at the cards yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what is revealed myself. And so we can go ahead and get started. And the timestamps are going to be at the top of this video or below, so you can definitely reference those. And the month of March is bringing in the new astrological year. So this is the start of Aries season, mid-March, mid to late March, but even before then, for the whole end of Pisces season, it's really about feeling through your emotions to help you tie up loose ends. And I mean, I'm always a big advocate of being creative, but right now is, a really good time to maybe do creativity a little bit differently than you're used to. For me, I've been going a little bit more minimal with my readings, although I did end up putting these crystals above, so it got a little more full in my reading space for you. I was feeling that to have some nice vibrant energy, but the reading itself is really simple, and it's 3 cards. And so I wanted to focus on simplicity, since my creative style does tend to be a little bit more detail oriented and have like an array of everything around all the time. And so maybe it's like that for you, maybe the opposite, but it's nice to go a little bit out of your comfort zone sometimes and see then like what's coming up for you there, how that can actually help you tie up loose ends in your reality as well. Because when you are able to be creative, you are also you're literally manifesting. So you are doing something, you're putting something out into the world, so it's in your reality. And so it can help you then feel more confident, for one thing, manifesting other things. So if you just look at it really practically, you can look at it like that, like very non-woo-woo. If you want to look at it more spiritually, then it really is taking you down that path of finding out how to better love yourself in those places, and what you really do prefer as a divine being for how you manifest. For instance, if you're doing it with colors, and then all of a sudden you have a bigger thing that you're working on manifesting, like how you're going to decorate your home, suddenly you have more confidence, and you feel your divinity in those places where you are able to make color choices on your paper about how you then want to see that play out in a bigger arena. And March is a really good time for that. Spring cleaning, or it could be fall if you're in the other hemisphere. So I guess it's not that it could be, it will be. So it's the equinox either way though. So okay, with that being said, I'm really looking forward to turning over these cards. So we're going to start with number 1, which is this beautiful unused sage bundle here. Can't wait to get that started myself. So let's see what we have. Ooh, Union, number 44. Okay, I'm gonna try not to like get, sound overly excited here. Have a nice calm voice, but that is really a nice sign to receive. And so yeah, these are all sacred geometry cards. So just such a beautiful deck, and I can see myself in it. It's funny, they're so shiny. So I want to read the description to you, and it says that the energy of union activates our ability to unite our outer and inner aspects toward a state of wholeness. And so this is not just about union with your twin flame. This is about full union with the divine. Also letting, if you will, the Holy Spirit, letting divine communication come through your life through you, and not controlling how it looks as well, because sometimes communication looks more nitty gritty than other times, and especially moving into Aries season. I know for me personally, like I have an Aries moon sign, and so it doesn't always look so pretty when I'm moving through things, but I can move through deeper stuff pretty quickly, and it can be really helpful to actually learn, if you haven't yet, about your moon sign, if you know what time you're born, and even if you don't, sometimes you can tell. It just depends if the moon was changing signs that particular day you were born. But it really helps you with learning some things about how you respond to your reality and process your emotions. And I would also say your deeper desires and passions, there's something there about that, and how you initiate things, how you move through your emotions as well, in a more kind of balanced way, of like get it started kind of way, or like kind of using that to tie things up, because that has to do with the seasons. And the seasons, there's a sign that will start off a season, there's a sign that will be in the middle of a season, so it'll be like the same season throughout that zodiac sign, and then there is a sign that will end that particular season and start a new season. So it's just nice to look at where your astrology falls into that. If it interests you, it can help you to look at it from that system perspective of like, oh, in this particular way, like, do I initiate like a new thing, a new cycle, and just how it resonates for you, because there's more to everyone's chart than just that particular moon sign, but it's definitely helpful for emotions. And why am I bringing this up? Well, because you really have to move through so many emotions to come into union with yourself, with the divine, with God, if you want to say God. If you like saying spirit, sometimes I say spirit too. And union means that you're at peace, you're really at peace. And union, like perfect total union, is one thing, that's like ascension, like you're an ascended master. Basically, you've mastered ascension, you've mastered union. And that means you've mastered union with your twin flame as well. Then union, like a relationship with your twin flame, that's a little more loosely defined, right? And on your way to ascension, you do hit a harmonious point in your union, and in order to ground that and everything, there is a specific process. And so that harmonious union is something that's already within you, and I like how this card depicts that, and it is in harmony with the divine. So there's 3 here, and that goes back to communication, the Holy Spirit, and this idea of being in union with your whole reality, and in communication with yourself, union in that place as well. So not shutting parts of yourself down when it comes to communicating within your own self and listening to your voice, your inner voice, and also then being able to dissolve and just say no to ego, whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't like to give too much power to all that. So really any power doesn't, there's nothing there for you, but sometimes it can be hard. I was watching something recently I found helpful that was just like, if you hear like a kind of a toddler's voice in your head that just is nonsensical, that might not be you. That might not be the God in you. And so that could be looked at as like a parasitic thought or something, and you can really just say, hey, no thank you, that's not me, and go back to your feelings, go back to your emotional space, and ground into all of that and have compassion for yourself, because this is going to really help activate your ability to unite the outer and inner aspects toward a state of wholeness. Again, and it's number 44, so this is about foundation as well. That emotional foundation meets manifestation, meets the physical reality, meets communication. All of these things come together, and they will fill that so-called void in a place where maybe you've been experiencing like a problem, a block, whether that's an abundance block, like a block to being supported living your purpose, a block to communicating with your twin flame. Could be multiple blocks. I know we tend to have more than one block at a time, but sometimes there's one block that really feels the most urgent or the biggest concern. And so one way to approach that is also to be strong where you are strong, and to have that help support you in clearing that place where you're not. And it will help you. So that's also a part of your union too. Activating your ability for the outer and inner aspects. It helps you have more compassion for that part of you that's moving through clearing away whatever's in the way, whatever that resistance is to love in those places. And you just keep doing the work, and you really will clear those places away. And there are links, whether you're watching this through my blog or on YouTube, there's links to help you with all of that, either above or below, somewhere around this video. And anything else about this card? Well, I was kind of debating if I was going to do a second card, and I know I said let's keep it simple, but I feel like let's have a second card, okay? So tenderness, and it's number 40. So this goes with union for you. So how can you kind of like help activate those energies? Tenderness. So the energy of tenderness activates our capacity to open our hearts and approach the world and each other with gentleness and care. So just keep that at heart, keep that in mind as you approach the month of March, and that is going to help you, especially moving into Aries season, like I said, with all of that more active fire energy, initiatory energy of the new season. Then remembering to continue to have that tenderness, and towards yourself too, because sometimes we need to express ourselves in certain ways, and then not judging that, but instead also giving that tenderness to yourself, so that you can just not abandon yourself in those moments where you're not sure if you're if you're in alignment. If you don't abandon yourself there, then it will actually help you move into deeper alignment. So let's move on to the second card. This is the candle, the beautiful tea light candle. I love tea lights. And the card is going to be, ooh, it's right side up and it's purple. Well, indigo purple. So it's 6th chakra, right? The energy of the third eye chakra supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. So this card is really helping you to say yes to your intuition, to clearing out anything that is in the way of your intuition, and to finding peace and boldness there, to really also having boundaries. And your inner sight is like, it's also your sanctuary. It's your place. I mean, it's like this, it's so perfect for this candle, really. It's like lighting a candle in there in your third eye, you know, your forehead. It's like an attic, but that comes alive and that comes to this place of perfect beauty, this perfect sanctuary space for you where you can really get a lot of awareness, call in a lot of abundance, because your intuition is going to guide you, right? It's going to help you. And when you're more aligned in your intuition, it actually helps you call in even more support that's in alignment with that. So it doesn't mean you can't get support from other people. And of course, I say that as someone who does readings for people and does twin flame coaching. But I also say it because from personal experience, yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate the support that I have received, like the guidance that I've received that has helped me through those times when I've had enough intuition, like I've had enough that I was able to call in more from a place of peace, right? And that's different from maybe just not trusting yourself. And then sometimes you can call in guidance that isn't very helpful or that you can't receive or something. So also be aware of your intuition about who it is that you're working with that is helping you through their so-called intuition. And so it's important to really feel into how you feel about working with someone, especially if it's something very, like, what's the word? I don't know if I would say, I don't want to say like delicate exactly, but your twin flame union is very sensitive. That's the word I'm really looking for. It's a very sensitive topic. I mean, it's, you know, the love in your heart of hearts. And so when that gets trampled on, it's not always a bad thing, because it can lead you to deeper awareness. It can lead you to resilience. But at the same time, you don't need to call in getting like trampled on, right? Like that's not what you want, and that's contrast. And so it's safe to move past that, you know, need to experience that if you feel like, yeah, you're good there, right? And to then go into calling in what is an actual alignment for you to continue moving forward. And like I just said, I mean, inevitably you will. And you might wonder, well, how is this applying to me? Like, I'm not, you know, getting a bunch of readings right now or whatever. But sometimes it's just, it could even be through your twin flame, like saying they're not your twin flame, but you're feeling so strongly they are. There's a variety of ways that this could be echoed to anywhere that you're insecure or not trusting your intuition. And see how, as you align with your true third eye chakra, you know, with what's really there for you, how God really created you to be in that energy space within you and around you, you could say, since your energy goes, you know, beyond your physical body. See how as you work through those blocks and come to a deeper place of trust, how that's echoed and reflected to you in your reality, including perhaps by your twin flame if you are talking to them, but in other ways as well, and even signs that you may receive, inner guidance, if you have spirit guides too. So pay attention to that and let it help you. Let it help guide you during March. It's going to be a really beautiful time for that. And for card number 1, I did pull a second card, so I'm going to do it for this one too. And I'm laughing a little bit because originally I was like, let's keep this very simple, but I also feel like, why not, basically. And number 6 is also then about communicating something outward. So it's working towards this place of feeling more comfortable and confident in your intuitive abilities, and maybe even helping people. Maybe you have more purpose there than you realized in some way, whether it's just personally in your, personal life with people that are closer to you, or more professionally. So pay attention to that. And something creative as well, like a creative way to feel more confident about your intuitive ability. And then this card is really interesting to me, Presence. It's just so beautiful. It's like what, like obsidian or something like this. Beautiful kind of protective energy to me. So it says the energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in the here and now. So sometimes presence also does require a boundary, or, for you to release anger or something to be present. So keep that in mind as well, especially in clearing your third eye, like clearing what's not there. But not boundaries with resistance. And so that's an important key point, is to continue to clearing blocks to love, so that you can easily say no to the choices you don't want in your reality, to the interactions you don't want. If you're a sensitive person, you may, really get that, like how there's interactions beyond the physical that, sometimes are like you want to engage in something, say like with your spirit guide or with God directly, but you don't need to invite in unwanted communication that, energetically, that doesn't feel in alignment for you. It's okay to say no to that. Not everyone deserves to be like, able to tap into you like that at all. And maybe you feel like that's just like, yeah, no one does, right? And that's important too, is to really build a strong energetic boundary for your whole aura, so that your aura can actually expand, and then you can really help more people from that place. So it's really, to me, about presence for you. And remember that even though this is focused on your sixth chakra, that really when you are working on just one particular chakra, all your other chakras are also coming into play, since it's all a part of your energetic system. And so you might find yourself then equally focused sometimes on like your sacral chakra, that kind of creative energy too. So stay very present, and like make that, your full-time job, so to speak. If you find yourself drifting away or like numbing out or something, just be more present. And especially when you're doing things that seem pleasurable, pay attention to exactly how much of a snack you want to eat, for instance, and that will help you to see when you're done with something, when it's time to move on from an activity or a snack. And these are good ways to romance yourself, because sometimes when you're not as aware, like you stay out in the garden a little too long, you get kind of cold and it's not fun anymore. If you're really present and you're aware of how you feel, you're either, going to put on a jacket or get out of there as soon as you're ready to leave. And yeah, that's just going to help you with then going into deeper union with your twin flame as well, practicing this presence, because they know you for who you are, a completely present being. And now we are ready to move on to Palo Santo, number 3. I just love Palo Santo so much. It always smells so good. And so let's see what we have for you, number 3. Ooh, this is the only one that's upside down, and it's 5th chakra. So if you happen to catch the last card, it was the 6th chakra. And so this is the energy of the throat chakra. The energy of the throat chakra supports our ability to communicate clearly and truthfully. Yes, it does. And we have some kind of throat chakra oriented colors, crystals up here, actually kind of right over this card, so that's cool. And so this is really about paying attention to communication. And I know that for me, sometimes when I'm clearing blocks, doing what's called the mirror exercise, and there's links for that as well if you would like to learn it or you need a refresher. Sometimes the blocks that get cleared go right through my throat chakra, and so it can feel like, like you're gonna cry or something. So it's really important to release that energy if you do, and to just be present, doing things like like breathing, and like, which of course you always do, is like, oh, advice to breathe, how, how special, right? But really, like, sometimes we stop breathing when we go to concentrate on something or learn something, which is the opposite of what you want to do when you're trying to learn something new, to stop breathing. But I know that I've done that before, and I have had been lucky enough to have like an instructor once who pointed that out to me, and that apparently was, yeah, it's a thing that people sometimes do. So just being present with your throat chakra and with your the whole mechanism of breathing, which really is like your whole body, right? Like, goes into that. And not having shallow breaths, but also not like breathing overly deeply, right? But just like giving yourself what you need, and those basic things, and water as well. So this could be a really good month for you to make sure that you're hydrated if that is an issue for you at all. And on that note, I mean, this is not like a health reading, right? But sometimes we do better with drinking other things than just water. Now, I mean, drinking tons and tons of coffee or something is not the most hydrating, as we know, but drinking sometimes like some other kinds of teas and things, your body has an easier time assimilating that and getting minerals and stuff, and it tastes better. Or even just putting lemon or something you like in your water. So it should be a pleasurable experience, right? You shouldn't feel like you're just, I want to say, a fish drinking water, but that's not how that actually works. But it should feel good. So fifth chakra, all of these basic things are going to set up your foundation for more success than in communicating. And a lot of creativity, I think we don't always give our throat chakra the credit it deserves for the creativity and, that self-expression that comes through your voice. Your voice is a very powerful instrument and tool for communication, for healing, and also your ears are in this area as well. And so it's also about listening and absorbing communications. And so having a clear throat chakra then allows you to not, take in what you don't want. Somewhat similar to how I was saying in the last card, the number 2, sixth chakra, just having good boundaries with your throat chakra as well is not something we always think about, but this also has to do with your thyroid and too much pressure. Working too hard in ways that actually aren't in alignment can throw that kind of balance off. So pay attention to if you ever feel a lot of pressure on you in your neck area. Or if you don't know where your thyroid is, you can look it up pretty easily. It looks kind of like a butterfly. But when you start to feel too much pressure in this area, it can be a sign that you might not be moving in alignment, and that if it's a lot of heaviness, but sometimes you also need to move through it. So I want a second card on that as well, just to give more clarity here. And it's about commitment. So what it is about, what I'm getting from this card, first of all, is that it's actually about not being committed to the outer thing so much, and being committed instead to the deeper thing, to the deeper spiritual principle of the love behind what you're doing. And so if something is feeling out of alignment, it's important to go to the love within you, and to, if you need to, ask for guidance. What do I do here? See if transitioning to doing something else feels good to you, but don't abandon yourself. Don't abandon what you're doing. But committing to the deeper thing here is really going to help you to clear your throat chakra and to have more confidence in yourself. So I also am getting deeper commitment to your twin flame, to your union, and to spirit. And this card says the frequency of commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. Well, I don't know about you, but I've certainly had my voice waver plenty of times. Sometimes just thirsty or something. But that can also be like, a throat chakra area to work, something to work on in your throat chakra is paying attention to how you're communicating and how that is reflecting back to you your commitment levels, and perhaps going deeper with the way that you like your speech patterns and how you feel about them, like listening to yourself. If you are someone who uploads videos or anything like that, it can be really helpful because then you get to see, like, for myself, all the times I'm saying, when I'm a little more tired or something, and it's like, well, that sounds a bit redundant, right? And it sounds like I'm having a little bit of a lapse in my, like, a delay in between my thought process and my communication. And so pay attention to, for yourself, like where that's coming up for you so that you can clear those places. And don't be hard on yourself about it. Like, this is a process and it's not a bad thing, but this is going to be really attractive to your twin flame too. So commitment to healing your throat chakra for the month of March. I think that's such a cool thing. And to change, like commitment to being open to change, to loving change. And I get that from the number 5 specifically here. I know it's 5th chakra, but just looking at the number itself as well. And so yeah, and if you like to sing, you might want to look into that. Just be careful with your voice. I mean, just the everyday use of it is, it's a lot for, that's what it's for, right? But if you do sing, if you haven't ever taken voice lessons, I do recommend like at least doing something so that you know how to, like, where the high notes are supposed to go in your palette, as opposed to how the lower notes are coming from. I know when I took a voice class, that really, really helped me to develop that skill if and when I ever need it, or just when I want to sing to myself, and to kind of protect my vocal cords in that way. So that's just a nice, I think, friendly reminder too. And gosh, I just love the colors of this card. Really beautiful, kind of complementary colors. And so that's really kind of it for this reading. I did want to take a moment for us and just have a nice peaceful moment, because I know that, what's going on in the world right now, especially in Ukraine. And so I'm just going to light this candle for all of us here. And let's have, just a few seconds of silence to integrate this reading. And just a moment to really feel into that love you have with your twin flame and embrace that completely for yourself, and to feel that that is for you, to know that that is completely for you right now and always, and you are on your way. Beautiful. So thank you so much for joining for this reading. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and if you would like to, you can leave me a recommendation either on my Facebook page or in the comments below. There's an easy thing you can do on Facebook with stars, and I really always appreciate that. And have a beautiful day, and yeah, just like peace and prayers to the Ukraine, right? So love you guys, take care, bye-bye.